Hi, I'm Sonia and I help people take their power back. If you're interested in working with me and want me to call you on your BS, all of my coaching information is in the description below. In this video, I want to talk about something. I don't remember what we're talking about today. Why your manifestation didn't work. And I'm going to be very fucking honest with you. I can't tell you why your manifestation didn't work. Because I am not in your head. You are. And in order for you to figure out why your manifestation didn't work, you need to be very fucking honest with yourself about where your focus is and what you're thinking most of the time. This video was inspired by a comment that I got where somebody asked me why they didn't get their manifestation. They were affirming that they don't have to go to work on a specific day due to the weather. And they thought they were on top of it, but then they woke up and the weather wasn't bad and they had to go to work anyway. Why did this happen? And the truth of the matter is I can't fucking tell you. The law is always working. The law works fucking perfectly. It's always reflecting to you who you believe you are and what state of consciousness you are in. It's not your thoughts that manifest. It is your overall state, what you choose to focus on the most. The fact that this person was like, well, I felt like I was on top of affirming, honestly makes me feel like the first thing you need to check is, do you understand what your affirmations are for and what you are doing with them? I've talked about that in a video that I posted recently. If you do not understand that you are deciding that you're going to get what you want and then bringing yourself back to that is how things are going to go, and you're just affirming, thinking that you're staying on top of it, are you really changing you and becoming the version of you that knows that that is what is going to happen? Now, you don't have to know, but like, where was your focus truly? Were you wavering? Were you doubting? The next thing that came to mind in this comment is you have to understand that your entire belief system manifests. Your entire belief system. So we're in this process of your manifestation. Were you questioning if manifestation's real, or if it works, or if it could work with this, or if you could have this? Shit like that. The big one on that comment in particular was, I don't have to go to work due to the weather. So do you believe that you control the weather? Another part of it, as I talked about in a video also earlier this week, controlling the how. Deciding that there is only one reality in which you can get off of work. The only way I could possibly get off work is the weather's bad, so I'm going to focus on telling myself that the weather's bad so I don't have to go to work. Could be why it didn't fucking work. Again, you didn't believe it would actually work, so you were putting all these conditions on it to be like, well, if all that falls into place, then it'll work. But again, I'm not in your head. I can't tell you why shit didn't work. The most important thing I can tell you on really getting to understand this stuff is to start being truly fucking honest with yourself. Taking a look at things that you have manifested that went the way that you want them to, and you're like, yes, the things you know, you're like, that was a successful manifestation. I manifested that and I know it. Looking at that and dissecting, how did you do it? How were you thinking? Were you scripting? Were you affirming? Like, what were you doing? How were you thinking of it? How often were you thinking about it? How did you combat the thoughts against it? Was it something that was super specific or more general? How did you stay out of the how? And then start applying that to other things that you want to change in your life. This is a journey of self-discovery. I can call you on your bullshit, and if we have a conversation, I can call you on more of your bullshit, but at the end of the day, if something did not work out the way that you wanted it to, it's because of the way you were thinking about it. With that specific one as well, your beliefs about manifesting on a time crunch and getting shit exactly when you want it also come into play. It all comes into play. That's where I say the people who are successful with robotic affirmations, they pick like one affirmation, and anything that comes up against them having the day off that they wanted, they go back to their affirmation and focus on that. I can't tell you why it didn't work. The law is always working. And if you keep working at it and working with it, you're going to see that that's true. You have to remember, you're also the one who's like, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? So I'm guessing you don't believe that it works, which is probably why it didn't work. See how it all goes together? It is your entire mindset, not to make it like this huge thing, but truly, in my opinion, the best way to, the most important thing to practice is presence. For me, when I first started doing this, it was robotic affirmations. I really, going down for me to one affirmation, isn't it wonderful, everything's perfect, is what helped me to start controlling my mindset, to start being present, to start being aware of thoughts. This is where like meditation and learning to observe your thoughts is extremely helpful. Because then when you're going throughout your day, you're going to catch like, oh, that's a thought I don't like, I'm going to change it to something else. It's practice. But it is your entire belief system that fucking manifests. You can't just pick a sentence and tell yourself that, you know, I don't have to go to work due to the weather. And then in the back of your mind, you truly feel like manifestation isn't real. This doesn't work. I never get what I want. The only way I can get off of work is if I fucking control the weather. It's all fucking creating your experience. All of it. All of it. I recently got out of work I didn't want to do after I said I would do it. And all I did was, when I thought about how it's like, oh fuck, well, what if I have to go in and I don't want to go in? Instead of going there, nope, they don't need me. I don't know how they're not going to need me, but they're not going to need me. I don't have to go. And guess what? It fucking worked. And I didn't even have to be the one to like do anything. Like they came to me and were like, yeah, we don't need you. But I wasn't allowing myself, I wasn't putting all the how into it and controlling it. And anytime I would think of it, I would just be like, no, they don't need me. I get to do what I want those days. And started like planning my days as if it was a done deal that I wasn't going. That's how it works. Everything I have successfully manifested, that is how I did it. I dropped everything else and brought myself back to thinking of things in a way that I wanted them to be, instead of the what ifs and the all that shit. But the way that you are going to get the most out of figuring out why shit isn't working is to go on a journey of self-discovery. Like I said, if you want to do coaching with me, I can fucking help you find that shit. But you don't need me to help you do it. You need to fucking help you do it. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're learning to do, is catch your own BS. And the more you can catch your fucking bullshit, and the more you practice focusing on things being the way you want it to be, the easier it gets. But exactly why things didn't manifest, I can't fucking tell you. But it comes down to some form of wavering. Somewhere. Every fucking time. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.